we're going to go over 5 things: preparation, cleanliness, organization, your attitude, and helping hands, all of which are very important. If you're getting up super early to get a good spot, take a shower the night before. No funk. If you're going to be outside and in the sun, don't wear dark colors. No bueno. It holds the heat and you'll be overheated in no time. Pack up your car the night before. Items you're selling, your change, and snacks and water. Something that'll keep you hydrated and keep you from going super hungry. If you're going to be at a flea market and it's going to be outside, bring a sunshade. 2 reasons. 1, your stuff won't get sun damaged. And 2, you won't get sun damaged. Now we're going to talk about cleanliness. Your table. You want a clean table. It doesn't need to be immaculate and you don't need to break out the tablecloths, but you don't want a rickety old table that somebody's going to get slivers on, especially if you have little kids running around. You're also going to want to clean your game cases. Nothing's worse than grabbing a case and having it be all crusty and nasty and stuck together to another case. Ugh. Clean your games. It's very simple. They don't have to be perfect, but you at least want them to be clean enough so that somebody can't use the dirty card on you. Organization is very important. You want your cash in your pocket. You don't want it on a table behind you. The reason being is if you turn around and take your eye off the table, somebody could walk away with some of your stuff. Don't stack your games vertically. There's a couple reasons why. If they're stacked vertically, in order for the customer to look through them, they have to pick up the pile or creep down and look at it. 2, anything that gets picked up has a chance to be dropped and broken. And if it gets broken, you just lost money there. And 3, if the table isn't level, they can slide off and fall and get broken that way too. You also want to face your games. So you want them all facing the same direction, and you want that direction to be towards the customer. You also want to have the expensive stuff under lock and key so it doesn't walk off when you're not looking. Are all your items priced individually, or do you have $5 and $10 bins? And do you have a secondary way to determine that that $5 game didn't come out of the $10 bin? Usually a colored sticker on the back of the game or case or inside the case works fairly easily. Are you willing to negotiate pricing? And have you set your pricing high enough to allow for a little bit of negotiation so that the customer thinks they got a deal? You always want to set the pricing a little bit higher than normal. Don't put your crap items on the floor in front of your table. And here's why. If you truly want to sell them, pull them up and put them somewhere that people can easily get them. If you put them on the floor, someone eventually is going to sit down on the floor and go through them. And that creates a no-win situation for you because they're stopping people from looking at the stock that's directly above them. And even if they buy something, it's not something you really wanted to sell anyway. Organize your games by console. Don't have the Xbox 360 games in with the PS3 games. You want to alphabetize your games. And here's why. Because when somebody walks up and is looking for a specific game, you can help them look for it, or at least direct them to where it would be in the case if you do have it. If they're not in any kind of order, they're out of luck. Make your stock available. And what I mean by that is, if you have enough stock to cover 2 tables, get 2 tables. Don't stack bins on top of bins. The customer shouldn't have to move stuff to get to other stuff. If you have to, and you know you have doubles, put the doubles in a separate container behind the table. This way, as you go through the day, you can refill your bins. Make sure your disc-based games are in their cases in the bins. Nothing is a bigger letdown than cracking open the case and not finding the game in there, unless you're actually keeping them behind the table. Have your small items in a display case, preferably one that can rotate, so this way you can fill all the sides of it. The thing about it is, if your small items are in a box, they're loose, people might not go through that box, and it has a chance to fall and create a mess, and it's a distraction from your table, and somebody could use that as an opportunity to walk away with something. your attitude and helpfulness. So this is important. Don't be offensive. Don't wear anything offensive. Don't curse. Don't swear. Don't be sarcastic. And here's why. Because when you're sarcastic and you're being a little crass, you might fend away a potential customer that just heard that crass or crude joke, and they won't even stop by your table. And you might think to yourself, well, this is who I am. Listen, you go to the expo, you go to the flea market, you're trying to sell some stuff. If you want to keep your attitude and not sell anything, that's up to you. There's certain topics you want to avoid as well. I'm going to run a list here so you have a general idea on what to not discuss in a public setting that might set off a few people. If a customer has a stack of your games, you want to offer to take it from them. There's a couple of reasons why. One, it prevents stuff from possibly walking off. Two, it gives you a chance to sum up the total of the goods ahead of time so that it's that much quicker when the customer is ready to buy all your stuff. And three, it might help the customer forget the value of what they've already picked up and put behind the counter, and they might pick up more stuff and get that sale up a little bit higher. If a customer walks up with a list in their hand, offer to help them find the stuff. It's much easier as well if your stuff is alphabetized. Offer advice about the game that a customer is holding in their hand, but you want to pay attention to their body language. If they engage in conversation about it, offer up a few other games that you might know that are similar. You want to focus on the sale. And what I mean by that is when a customer walks up, you want to at least greet them and say hello. Also, if somebody walks up to your table that you know at the show and they engage in a conversation, you want to shut that down. It seems a little bit rude, but here's why. If a potential customer is walking by and this person is having a conversation with you, that customer might not want to interrupt your conversation. Also, if they're trying to see something in front of this person, they might not ask them to move, which means you might have just lost a sale and you didn't even know it. Tell your friend or your associate that after the show, you'll catch up with them then. Additional hands are important too, so invite a friend along. And what this does is a few things. It gives you a chance to take a break if you need to, either hit the bathroom or go shopping. Also, it's an extra set of eyes on your stock, so this way stuff is less likely to walk away. If you have somebody else helping you, let them know your selling strategy, meaning, do you have everything individually priced? Is there a leeway that they can play with as far as giving a 20% discount? Is there a buy 5, get 1 free? This way they know the rules, so when you walk away from the table, they're not going to give away the farm. That's the selling strategy. Hopefully you've learned a thing or two. If you have an idea or suggestion and you want to leave it in the comments below, go ahead. We're going to link to the buying strategy up here. And again, if you like the content, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for regular releases. Other than that, have a good one and be good to each other.